Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in between. We have a comparison here that has been sitting on the back burner for quite some time. I actually thought I did this one. I got a request for this yesterday, and I seen it, and I thought, thought I already did that. I was going to send them the link. I looked up and did the 2008 Arnold's Classics between these two. This is, of course, Dexter the Blade Jackson and Phil the Gift Heath. This is them at the 2008 Mr.Olympia event. In case any of you guys didn't realize, when Dexter won the Olympia from Jay Cutler, Jay placed second, of course. Phil Heath was making his Mr. Olympia debut. His debut. If you didn't catch that. And he placed third. Much like a Hattie Shupin, for instance, he placed third on his debut. And who else did, guys? Lee Haney? I believe he placed third in his debut as well. So Phil Heath and Lee Haney have that in common, as well as Hattie. But it didn't work for Hattie, I guess. Anyway, guys, I think I might have wanted to stay away from this one because let's just begin this one. We're already past a minute in. Let's go to the side relaxed. And I think I probably tried to stay away from this one because, let's face it, if Phil Heath is proven to be better here, and if I say that Dexter Jackson shouldn't be the 2008 Mr. Olympia event or Olympia champion, I'm sure I would probably give myself some backlash about that. That's very disrespectful. Side relaxed. Looks like, at least in the lower half, and at least in the conditioning, Phil Heath every step of the way. Right there with Dexter the Blade Jackson. Dexter, a very pronounced upper body. Definitely not winning in the lag department, though. Turnaround. This, of course, is just the Symmetry round. These are not the clearest pictures in town, but from what we can tell, looks like Phil is in better condition when you look at the glutes, guys. Now, Dexter's back. It's very wide. Huge. Huge, in fact, compared to Phil's. So, might be getting Phil in some back shots, but man, look at those glutes, guys. Now go to the other side. And I think this is honestly a better side for Phil. If you go back and look, maybe not as good. This is the worst side for Dexter and the better side for Phil. The opposite, I think, could be said about the first side relaxed. But anyway, guys, that is the Symmetry round. So take it for what it is. Hey, I think Phil is, every step of the way right there with Dexter. Let's begin the front double bicep pose. And we will be taking a look at several different shots, several different versions of each pose. So that is actually better you're going to make an actual educated decision on this. Phil Heath, he looks better in this one. He looks bigger. The muscle separation in the arms look better. Dexter, he is awesome. He has an outstanding silhouette. And I think his proportions are good when you look at the legs and the arms. But Phil, of course, the leg's so much bigger. How big do they need to be? Well, in this case, size does win over, in my opinion, that is. It's a good shot for both guys. Here is one from the finals, I do believe, and you can see what I mean, guys. Phil Heath, it's going to be a tough one for Dexter the Blade Jackson. It is going to be an uphill battle, considering this is a good pose for Dexter. But it was for Phil Heath, too. Back in the day, up until maybe 2014, I think. Up until then, it was a good pose for Phil. Here is a third and a final look at this one. Ground's tilted a little bit here, so it makes maybe Phil look maybe an inch taller, but it doesn't really matter. It's about quality, muscle separation. I think Philip is winning on the calves, quads, midsection, everything, guys. So that's one pose. Go to front lat spread, pose number 2. And honestly, guys, I hope you guys aren't mad at me if all of these poses go this way, because I just honestly do not see how Dexter could beat Phil Heath here. Like I said, from the legs to the midsection to the lats this time. I mean, the front double bi, the front lat, they were strong poses for the Gift. Back in the day, they became not quite so strong. Let's just face it, to be downright mean. They were probably his worst poses, in particular the front lat spread. Here is another look at it, guys. It's just it's about levels. And with all due respect to Dexter Jackson, Phil Heath is on another level. I mean, Dexter's getting him in what? The chest? Width of the chest? Yeah, I'll agree with that. But that doesn't win you a front lat spread. That is for darn sure. Go to the side, guys, because this is I feel that I'm going to be in trouble if this goes this way. And I think I see why I stayed away from this one. A split in Phil's pec there. Maybe a tear in his pec. That could be a reason why you would give this one to Dexter the Blade Jackson. But I honestly don't see an intelligent judge saying that Dexter's going to defeat Phil Heath because of this pose. Phil Heath, he's huge. When you look at the delts, the arms, the legs, everything on this pose. I mean, except for maybe the aesthetics, Dexter does look good. That bow in his chest, I personally love that. Here's a second look at the side chest development. And the side by each one, clearly you can see that Phil Heath is on, another level as far as the size. Look at the hanging hamstring. Good muscle separation in Dexter's legs. I mean, the guy looks outstanding in this. Not saying that he doesn't look good, but is he beating Phil? Maybe if it was just this one pose, I could see it being a toss-up. Go to the side tricep. Now, this one is an easy win for Phil, in my opinion. Hey, my opinion, it was an easy win from the front lat spread, and it was a decisive victory in the front double. This is a blowout victory, so unless Dexter really gets some points back in the back shots and in the conditioning of the glutes, which we've seen from the first back pictures, but they were pretty blurry. Here is another look at the side tricep, in case you were wondering, guys. It's a more of a right on the side shot for Phil Heath, and I kind of like the way they do this. He was matching Dexter in the first shot, I understand that, but I personally like when they go a little bit more to the side like this for Phil Heath. A little better to display the tricep itself. You can get a little glimpse of the rear head, all the heads of the tricep. He's getting a point, guys. Now, without further ado, go to the rear lat spread. Now, Dexter, he's saving face here as far as the back is concerned. That lower back, lat insertions, very crisp indeed. Phil Heath, slightly too narrow, I think, to really get a decisive victory in this one. Now, look at the glutes. Look at the condition. Maybe not as clear as a shot for Dexter, but I don't know, guys. I think Phil Heath looks like he is in better condition. Here's another one. Phil looks a little bit better in this one as far as the back is concerned. But then again, Dexter might look a little bit better as far as the glutes and the legs are concerned. Surely not the calves, though. Couldn't see the calves in the first shot, but you can see here that, Phil is definitely going to take an edge in that one. And in the outer lats themselves as well, here in this comparison, Phil Heath looks pretty darn good, guys. Go to the rear double by. Dexter, much like the rear lat, a little bit wider, maybe a little bit more detail for Phil, though. When you look at the traps, the lat insertions, and that Christmas tree area this time, just as tight or tighter for Phil Heath. And when you look at the glutes, you know what I'm going to say, guys. Phil Heath is in better condition. You look at the hamstrings, as good as Dexter looks, he's not as tight and as dry as Phil Heath. Here is another one, because this is the final say as far as the back shots are concerned. So we're going to have a look at a few of the back shots. And honestly, guys, I just do not see Dexter beating Phil here. Like I said, it is disrespectful to say. If somebody were to say to me, Phil Heath, or Dexter the Blade Jackson, rather, he's not a deserved Mr. Olympia, I would say, you're crazy. Crazy. I like you, but you're crazy. Here is an onstage. And Dexter, Phil Heath's leaning back here a little bit more, I think. Dexter's tall. He looks a lot taller than Phil Heath in the poses. Phil looks drier as well, guys. Look at the hamstring. How could you compete with that? Dexter's back does look good here, though. Here is another shot of the back double by, because we're not going to leave any stones unturned. Look at the calves, guys. The calves. Is it going to make that much of a difference, though? Does to me, I think. The width of the lats, Dexter, every shot, he's good. He's good. But you got to think, the thickness of the back muscles themselves, the lat insertions, those are unmatchable for Phil Heath. Now, this is the final look at the back shot. I left this one to the end because this is a good, clear shot. Look at the hamstrings. Look at the glutes. Even the lower back here. Phil Heath, tight as a drum. And you can really see he's leaning back. Look how much more thickness there is on his lat insertions than Dexter the Blade Jackson's. So it's a three-dimensional, just unbelievable amount of muscle on Phil Heath. Turn back around for the ab and thigh, guys. And I know you guys are warming up your thumbs down fingers, you Dexter the Blade Jackson fans. I'm a huge Dexter the Blade Jackson fan. I would love nothing more than to see him defeat Phil Heath. Feels like the bad guy in bodybuilding. But if pumping iron taught us anything, the bad guy in bodybuilding, he wins. That's right, guys. Bodybuilding, topsy-turvy. The nice guy, the Lou Ferrigno, he loses. And, this is Dexter's pose. The front double bi was his pose, too. And a weak couple of poses for Phil Heath. Not a weak pose for Phil Heath. Not back then. Here is another look at the ab and thigh. Say what you will, guys. I got Phil Heath in the ab and thigh. Dexter has a better V-taper. But I honestly think Phil's matching him in the abs. Maybe even defeating him. Dexter, he looks good, but it's just, Phil looks like he's in better condition. In particular in the quads. This is a very discouraging matchup, guys. Finish this one off, most muscular. Phil winning on the arms, the delts, and even in the chest development in this comparison. Of course he's winning in the wheels. Dexter, he's winning in the first thing that I see here, though, the traps. One could say, look at the traps. Dexter's winning this entire competition just based on that. Hey, I'm such a huge Blade fan, I might even go with them politics and give Dexter the Blade Jackson the overall. Here is a side-by-side, and it will be the final say on this. I don't honestly think Phil is particularly ready for this shot. His legs don't look as hard and as crisp as they did in other shots here. Dexter looks even better in this one than he did in the more clear shot of the most muscular. Look at the traps on the guy. Delts look fantastic as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not saying that Dexter the Blade Jackson is not a deserved Mr. Olympia. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I have Phil Heath winning this matchup. I said that as a question because I'm scared of you guys. I honestly fear your guys' retaliations on this one. But I honestly want to hear from you guys that are taking a close look at all of these poses. And, I'm sure some of you guys will agree with me. Hit thumbs up on the video. And I don't want you guys to misconstrue this situation. Like I said, Dexter the Blade Jackson. He is a Mr. Olympia champion. But so is Phil Heath. Have a great day, guys.